We're just waiting for the final ban. What would you think it's going to be? What, you got 3 seconds?
This final ban is going to... Whoa, not Skarner. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say Orianna. So
Orianna.
what this means is that CLG, seriously, if they don't have Orianna banned by WE, they're going to want it for Froggen, because
So
there's no way they'd leave it with how bad it destroyed them
So
in
now
game
they're
one.
forcing it. They're saying, you either ban Orianna or you ban Aurelia. We are going to get one. Clever mind games, I feel.
I think that's what they're going to do. I could be proven wrong, but that's the prediction.
And there's a
Maokai ban, so that's the back and forth. Now they get one of the two.
So, do you want Orianna? Do you want Aurelia? I know what Wicked would be choosing. Wicked would be saying, oh, I want to lock Aurelia in. But instead, it is going to be Orianna picked up. That's going to be Froggen's mid lane already selected. So, will Aurelia get taken away by Team WE? I know it will be pretty sad if it does. And Xiao Mei is going in. However, if anyone knows how to play against Aurelia, it's going to be Wicked.
And it's going to be so fun to watch here, because we see this happen occasionally. I know Ocelot's tried to pick a Nivea away from Froggen. It hasn't worked out in the past.
Backfires.
I've very rarely seen someone take someone's bread and butter champion away from them and be able to turn it around against him, because they know it way too well. And Wicked knows what he has trouble against, and because he's played so much of it, he'll realize why he had trouble with it and be able to replicate that himself. Jace is still available. That matchup's been really close, and every time we've seen in the Aurelia versus Jace, the Nocturne's locked in again. They're going hard in fast.
That stare is still there from Snoopy. So, are we going to see a Renekton, or are we going to see a Jace? Or will they just delay that one and go for the AD carry?
They don't need to pick their top laner yet.
They're picking for the Ezreal again. Ezreal just keeps losing. I've got to be honest, Ezreal just keeps losing. But Sona being picked up definitely is a strong pick. So, again, we are seeing that Nocturne. Nocturne worked very well, but this time they haven't got Shen. They could pick it still. Shen could go in the jungle.
They could still do pretty much the same team comp they had, but with a different middle laner. I still think something like a Morgana or even a Ryze could come out, because they need that stick, that hard initiation here. They go in with Nocturne, they dive in with Aurelia, and then Messiah's Ryze is actually very, very strong.
So Ryze and Corki looking like to be the 2 picks. Of course, Graves is available. Generally, it is those 3 champions. We did see Tristana get picked up by Yellow Pete in the group stages. Did not work very well for him, though. Although that was against Kane and Bray. Strong combo of Najin Sword. So, they are going to get locked in. CLG.EU now with their final picks of the game. AD, which one are you going to go with? The top lane, the Bruiser and the jungle.
We got Bruiser jungle here. The Skarner's banned. The Maokai's gone. Snoopy, if he does anything, it might be a Cho'Gath. And top lane, the Shen is available. If they want to counteract and stall, I have seen Wicked play Shen, and he knows it matches up against Aurelia. Jace would be the other option I'd have for Wicked, but this is going to be, they're taking their time here. What are they going to end up going with?
Well, Snoopy has been playing that Cho'Gath. Played it in game 1. Didn't work too well, but I think it was more the team comp than anything else. Oh, and he went Maokai.
Malphite.
This is Malphite, sorry. This is very much level 1 team game 1. I'll get my words right eventually.
But they have Orianna this time, which I think is a big difference. This is actually something Wicked's second most comfortable. Think about it.
That's a lot of harass.
Ball on the Malphite, unstoppable force in, ultimate initiate, on top of Cho'Gath, really comboing everything together if they want. But how do you disrupt that? You try to blow them back with Janna before they can chain everything. This has been a very back and forth champ select and ban phase. You can see these teams are really used to playing the best of 3, trying to counter each other at every turn, because they're picking away each other's stuff here, the Orianna, the Aurelia, and now they're trying to counter CLG's synergy with that Janna to disrupt things.
So Janna looks like it will be the final pick. Just waiting to see where that's going to
could always be
level out.
They haven't locked it in yet. They're discussing something for sure. I wonder if they're not sure about this pick. They've tried Lulu in the past for fast pushing, but I don't know how that matches up with the rest of CLG.EU's team.
Could you realistically launch a Nocturne in there with a Lulu ulti?
You could, but you'd have to wait until he lands, which would be very difficult. The range is pretty large, but this Janna just makes too much sense in the terms of breaking up the synergy.
You could have, of course, Aurelia going in there, but the Janna is got to be the call, because A, you're going to have the Crescendo coming across, you're going to have the Orianna ulti, you're going to have the Malphite ulti, and there's definitely a lot of disruption there from CLG.EU. The question is, how can they do in the lane phase?
They need to outplay WE in the lane phase, because that's been happening to them all throughout. The big difference here that I'm sensing from WE is the first 2 games, they had the fastest pick ban phase of pretty much anyone. They really took their time during this one. I wonder if their team is having some internal disputes and where their mind is at, because the duration that took when compared to the first 2 games makes me think something is off.
Something very much off. So, ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 is about to get underway. These teams, they can hear you when you cheer. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's first off go for Team WE. If you would like to see them take Game 3 and meet Azubu Frost in the semi-finals later today, give them a shout.
Very much home support here. Do you want to see CLG.EU move on to the semifinals? If you do, let me hear you.
I think it's safe to say we know who the team favorite is. And so, CLG.EU coming into this one offer a potential face-up with the Azubu Frost OGN remake, or will Team WE, the Chinese last hope, make it through to the semi-finals? There'll be a lot of viewers in China really hoping and praying for this to happen. But there's also a lot of European viewers staying up late at night with their fingers crossed for CLG.EU here. We are getting underway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the game.
Very early on here, we saw that huge engagement at the start of last game. Are we going to see something similar here? There's a lot of pick potential here. They have the Rise Rune Prison on WE's side or the Cho'Gath Rupture on CLG's side. Either team, if they catch the other one out of position, will be able to force something. A lot of pings going down from WE. Both teams, CLG.EU, much more grouped up here. I wonder if they're spent with their level 1 strategies at this point because they've spent so long just waiting around. It's been such a long series. Don't want to make any mistakes early.
Again, we're seeing no boots from the supports going very much for those wards. So Crepo's going to walk up, put that ward in the face of Chow Mei, sorry. He's actually going for the bush ward, and FCZF does the identical thing on that bottom lane. So very much equal moves between these teams. Scary invades. Could we see something delayed, or will we just see them playing it safe? It is last game of the quarterfinals, so safe is definitely the way to go, surely.
So many of the invades that we've seen successfully work are the delayed invades. We do see Clearlove up in that brush. What is he doing up there? His team is not close to him. Will he try to solo go in and smite? I know that CLG in the past has done the smiteless blue and other teams have punished them for it. We've seen it from SK, we've seen it some of Azubu Frost. Is this something WE saw in their scouting report and they're going to try for? With the 2-man top that it looks like CLG is going to start off with, they'd see him in the invade. This could be very well be a 3-man and delayed invade by WE. This is going to be pretty epic.
It's the 2 carries. Messiah could easily get flash engaged here, you know. Crepo, sorry. Messiah could definitely flash Rune Prison him. Crepo, the hit points would go down very quickly. It's just going to back away, and wisely so. FCZF joining them. They are going to go for this blue invade. The blue's now spawned, and here we go. The camera can pan down. Messiah's going to catch a blast in the face, though. And Crepo very quick to react to that one. They are going to try and go back and forth. Both of them. It's going to be a smite fight here. Who is going to be able to get it? It is going to be Snoopy. Snoopy gets Rune Prison, though. They're trying to pull it back, but Snoopy had to burn that smite out. Means it's not going to be available for the red. That's generally where the leash pull comes from. He's going to need help on that red now.
It's still a big win for CLG because there were 4 members of WE and the harassment coming down from Froggen. They got the blue buff despite being outmanned, and because they were outmanned, Froggen got level 2 first. He's bullying, and now they're potentially counter-invading into WE's jungle. Really good play, and they're trying to capitalize it almost immediately.
They're trying to capitalize it. We're seeing Wicked versus Chow Mei down that bottom again. Back at those rates, Snoopy is still around there. He has, of course, got that ward in there, and he's just going to keep putting in the back the trouble there. Again, managed the rupture on towards FCZF. Crepo is in there. The
he has no flash.
Clearlove's going to come in. The exhaust goes down. You can see the AD carries coming across now. Crepo's going to come across. There's the attack ball. Can they catch across? Crepo's going to get dropped. First one goes down. Crepo drops eventually as well. Meanwhile, up the top, it was a 1v1 fight. Yellow Pete managing to kill out on towards Wei Zhao. So that is a 1v1 fight as well. The AD's winning out on that top lane. That is huge in itself.
The first 2 games they were getting obliterated in mini kills by Wei Zhao, but because so much pressure got pulled down, Wei Zhao just wasn't ready. He hit level 1 at the wrong time. Ezreal now level 3. He didn't hit level 1. He couldn't hit level 2. Yellow Pete hit level 2 at the right moment. And the big plays coming out from CLG.EU early. They don't need to stall if they jump ahead early.
They're going to try and jump ahead early. And of course, Orianna versus Rise in that mid lane is a very safe pick for both teams, honestly. Messiah, very much a well-known Rise player, but Froggen on Orianna is going to have a huge advantage if they can pull ahead. So they've had a lane switch already, and there's a lane switch straight back. We're going to get to check the replay on the AD. Certainly the top fight here, Jack.
Yeah, and you can see he was just level 2 before Wei Xiao. He got over the Ignite, ended up taking him out. Yellow Pete actually didn't need to flash over that wall, but that's the big thing. When you're 1v1 and you hit level 2 at the right moment, you can go all in the right situation.
Yeah, they tried to catch FZZF, and ooh, meanwhile returns alive, and you can see Yellow Pete just sat there saying, nah, not going to go back, just going to leave that Mystic shot. But we are seeing Chow Mei now switch into that top lane, so it's going to be Yellow Pete and Crepo versus Chow Mei on that top lane, Wicked down the bottom versus Wei Xiao. Not too sure how this one's going to work out for you. As it is, though, I certainly feel that Wicked is going to have a little bit of problems, which is why you can see Snoopy's coming down there. He realizes that currently FZZF is not down there. They're going to try and go for Wei Xiao again. If they can catch him out again, that will be 2 kills in very quick succession. Ooh, Valkyrie, and just through the silence from Snoopy. Perfect, minuscule timing there.
That rupture lands, and Wei Xiao would have suffered his second death of the game. There's another one. They might get him right here. He has no Valk.
You can see he's going to try and catch up to Wei Xiao. Wei Xiao definitely going to go down. No, the Howling Gale comes through. As it stops in, the rupture's there, but it's not enough. He did have the red buff. Oh, Wicked comes in, manages to land the shard, and takes him down.
Back and forth, 3 kills to 1 now for CLG.EU, and the second kill onto WX, so they are coming out hot here. The Rupture keeping up the long cooldown on that Valkyrie, shutting down Wei Xiao, and he really needs to struggle to get back into this. Only a longsword and 12 mini kills on Corki.
0-2-0, that longsword, and Yellow Pete now against Aurelia has that advantage. Of course, both level 4. That kill advantage still yet to go back, of course. Still need to actually use that extra gold that he got, that extra health that he got. But Crepo's going to come in. They're just going to try and zone him as much as possible. You saw Yellow Pete just hit level 5 there. Chow Mei's going to get forced back. The poke from Crepo should be enough to keep Orianna really just pushed on that tower. Dissonance being used on towards Messiah. Massive, massive ranged advantage that Froggen has in that mid lane.
I just hope for WE that they're not falling apart as a team here, because the early disadvantage is in. They've won the previous 2 early games and only come away with 1 victory. They need to find a way to come back into this. It's going to be a lot on Clearlove. He's had the disappointing finish to the last game, getting caught out a few times. He needs to come back into this one. He's level 4 right now, trying to come in. Yellow Pete very, very far ahead because of that early solo kill. With these 1v2 lanes, it's actually working out again in the favor of CLG.EU. So everything looking up.
Oh, the ultimate mid on Messiah there. Froggen just popping the ball, and they just forcing him away. Actually, the Rupture captured from Snoopy, and Messiah being forced out of that one. Froggen going a little bit early and using every little chance he got. I think he's just going really early. He's going to back away, picking up the last piece of gold. Snoopy just helping out in that mid lane. It's just, again, you can see the pressure actually being kept up on Messiah there. Snoopy not going to back away. Instead, he's going to go around the race. Can he try and get the race? Chow Mei, meanwhile, is getting forced back. Snoopy tries to get in there. I didn't see whether he managed to catch on towards that large race. Instead, he's heading north now. They're going to be aware of it. Chow Mei's got to be careful. They could potentially tower dive him, or they could just 3-man dive that turret and push it.
They're looking to probably just push. This is a strategy that they knew WorldElite was very strong at doing. They send the jungler in and they just push it, but now WE with 2 men there to try to dissuade them from coming in. They're going to be able to save this tower, and it's actually going to help Clearlove hit level 6 faster, which is a pretty big win for WE.
Yeah, and you saw Chow Mei just completely clearing out those minions. Did have a little bit of help from Clearlove. So let's take a peek down that bottom lane. We can see Wicked on your picture right there. How is he doing now? Wei Xiao obviously been forced back, but with that Janna shield, definitely going to have an advantage. But we can see Wicked already hitting level 6 ahead of this pairing.
Wicked might actually try to turn aggressive at some point here. All he would need would be for Snoopy to come in. He's got the 1 kill. He will want to jump on, but he is actually probably content just farming. WE trying to push in the turret, but Wicked not letting him, clearing those lanes out really quickly.
Yeah, more importantly for Wicked, he's got that armor as well, because the big thing with the level 1, you know, the 1v2 is the very first few levels. If you can just keep them locked down. Now he's already hit 6, he's already got his ultimate, he's tanky enough to just let Wei Xiao just take a bit of a harassment from him. Obviously his passive itself will help in that lane.
And since it was kind of a delayed lane swap, they never got that really early game to shut down Wicked. He was able to get a few levels before they decided to do that to him. And even when they did come down, Corki was behind Wei Xiao with the level 1 death. Never really gotten his edge on Wicked, so if they wanted to do the 2v1 strategy, they needed to do it right away, because so far Wicked's just rolling with it and he's doing quite fine.
Honestly, in this mid lane, I can see a very confident Froggen right now. He's just throwing that ball around at Messiah every chance he gets. Just popping it in. He's not using the dissonance though, he's just using that attack, just leveling it in there, just poking him every chance he gets. And Messiah, is just having to avoid the damage. It's going to knock him off his stride a little.
With that, though, Messiah still doing a very good job. He's kept pace with Froggen in lane almost every game now, 64 to 67. It's just a matter of the team fighting, whether Froggen's there. And Snoopy's done very much to try to harass down Messiah. He's got that early oracles as well on Cho'Gath, so Messiah getting the blue buff really quickly.
Tri-bush bot lane, we just saw Cho'Gath, Snoopy, and FCZF does manage to put the ward down straight on top of Snoopy with that oracle already. So another early oracle for Snoopy there. And we're seeing Yellow Pete continuing to poke on Chow Mei. And Crepo just continuing to try and keep that harass. But Chow Mei went back. He picked up a Doran's Blade and a Ruby Crystal, which means he'll be very much keep that health up. As it is, we are seeing the wolves being picked up. And that's going to give Orianna that slight advantage.
Now with the slight advantage, it's something they haven't had in the previous games because they were always playing with a slight disadvantage. How are they going to be able to push this one off? Not quite sure. Now WE going for that dragon. Snoopy harassing it, giving him the vision inside. Krillov getting very low. They might have to back off this. Here comes Wicked. He might try for a kill.
He might try to get a kill. Instead he puts the shard down. There's the Ezreal ulti just flashing past. Tree-shot barrage not quite landing on him though. As it stands, 10 minutes gone, they didn't go for it, so they just backed off. And as you can see, they are going to return to bottom lane. He is going to ultimate onto Wei Xiao. He's going to certainly do a chunk of damage. It's not going to be enough to force him away though. Definitely going to give something for Wei Xiao to think about and have to eat that health bot. And that's going to force things. Oh, and FCZF goes straight in. But, oh, the Rupture wasn't quite in the right place. The Howling Gale just enough. Have to quickly use it as well, just to knock them back.
And Wicked with the heal is actually pretty good. It's surprising. Normally, Malphites will go with Ignite, and then in that case, the unstoppable force he used on Wei Xiao earlier would have killed them, but they were expecting a 1v2 lane very early, so he brought the heal, which is one of the reasons they haven't been able to 2 or 3 man pressure or even think about tower diving, just because he'd have too much durability and battle combat health.
So as it is at the moment, we're seeing a 3-man grouping in the middle there. Sona, see, with Orianna, are they going to try and force this dragon just like Team WE just tried? The ward just going down there. Of course, Snoopy with that oracles. I think we can see an oracles also. No, there's no oracle at the moment for Team WE. So Clearlove instead choosing to farm out, try and save up. Just got that damage more than anything. Just needs to try and catch the farm. He hasn't, of course, been able to use those ultimates to try and get involved. He has hit to level 6. See whether he can start making a dive on that lane. Yellow Pete's been on his own on that top lane for quite some time now, which is going to give him that bit of an experience. 83 CS to 78 in terms of the 2 ADs. Of course, they are in different lanes, which is a big difference. It's
still the first time he's been ahead of Wei Xiao in lane anyway, and now they're all 5 grouping going for the dragon. They pulled this off in a couple previous games, and they're able to get it. Chow Mei has no teleport, so this would be probably an uncontested dragon. They want no part of this, and they're just going to give it up, trying to counter push top lane, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a tower.
And he hasn't got the damage. I was just about to say, he fell behind. He's behind on Wicked in terms of farm, so he definitely haven't got enough to try and push on that tower. He's had to go, Wicked's actually got the Glacial Shroud already. Just, what, 12 minutes into this game. Yellow Pete, he's got to be careful here. Clearlove is off at the side. I think, yeah, Yellow Pete is very well aware of a gank situation possibly occurring. Clearlove, I couldn't see whether he was still on top of a ward there, but they knew he was definitely trying to hang around to him, going for that kill. He's going to use his True-Shot Barrage. He's going to clear out the wave, and that tower is safe. Let's have a look towards the middle. Messiah trying to use his ultimate to clear things out. As it is, though, safe play from both teams still so far.
Clearlove still level 7, unable to pull off any of these big ganks. Not sure when they're going to create something. Messiah, if anything, would combo fairly well with that if he's able to rogue down with a Rune Prison. Wei Xiao getting his farm on, but not shutting down Wickeds whatsoever. Normally when you do those 1v2 lanes, you're trying to deny the other man farm, and it's really not worked in either of these regards. Same minion kills on Wicked as we have on Wei Xiao, despite being outmanned by Janna.
As it is, you can see things starting to even themselves out. So Phage being picked up with Wei Xiao. He did go for a single Doran's Blade. Meanwhile, you can see Ezreal actually has got that Phage. I'm just going to see where... Oh, they are going to go straight for the ultimate towards Wei Xiao. The Rupture follows. Really nice time. And the Silence. Good combo. But Clearlove was there. They're not going to have the damage to be able to deal with this one. But it was a good combo by CLG. Having to use that ultimate there from Clearlove to try and save the day. That's going to force them away. Meanwhile, that top lane, you can see it's starting to Xiaomei returning, has got the phage. How is he going to be able to deal with it? Messiah now coming round. You can see Froggen rejoining the party as well. That bottom lane is still getting pushed. They do not want to give this one up though. Wicked's going to take the burst of damage straight away. That bottom lane is absolutely on nothing. And now you can see Froggen having to join that party. Just try and stop them back. Messiah going back to base. Back to mid lane, sorry. Yellow Pete is trying to push the pace on that bottom lane. They realized there was 4 members of WE, so Xiaomei is completely on his own, and the harass from Yellow Pete is starting to hurt Xiaomei.
And they're going to be able to take now the first turret of the game. They barely held their own. This is actually a pretty big turn. Might be a while before WE can get back to that turret, so that's going to extend CLG's early advantage.
So first turret of the game, and I believe the first time CLG take the lead. They are 3-1 up in kills, they are 3k up in gold, and they are tower down. Tower up, sorry, and the dragon up. Messiah now having to pick it up. So we're seeing Team W in a situation they've not been in against CLG here at the playoffs in the quarterfinals. They are down, as it is Snoopy. He's going to try and get that rupture on towards Messiah. Clearlove is going to pick up the red buff. Back in that middle, Orianna down the bottom, uses the ultimate. Weishao has the Valkyrie away from that one. FCZF again having to use that Howling Gale just to keep them at bay. And that bottom turret now is in desperate trouble because Orianna, Froggen on his own, is pushing the pressure. We're seeing Wicked coming around the side. He has got his Unstoppable Force available. Is he going to go for it? He shows his hand. And actually, that's just forcing them away from that turret. It's like, I am here. If you want to mess with us, I am going to Unstoppable Force in your face, and you're going to have to back away. That bottom middle turret now almost down. Meanwhile, Froggen has been left alone on the bottom turret, and he is just completely hammering away. All 3 turrets for CLG.EU just pushing them down every step of the way. Team WE are in desperate trouble already.
If they can get all 3 of these before WE is able to counterattack and then shop, it would be a monstrous advantage for CLG.EU. The Frozen Heart really being completed on Wicked already is such a huge advantage. That's turret number 2 down bottom. Now they're working on number 3. It's really a matter of WE not being able to respond to this. Clearlove is too far behind. The first blood on Weishao did not allow them to bully lanes. What does WE turn to here? Because they've only been ahead in this series, and now that they're behind, they don't really know how to answer.
And there's Wicked. Again, see the rupture come through. They do take that middle turret down too. So now 3-0 in turrets already. CLG with a huge advantage. Bottom turret will go down. We shall have to tank that one up. There's a 4k gold difference now. 16 minutes gone into this game. Yellow Pete picking up that red buff with the help of Crepo. CLG very much in a dominant position. Frozen Heart already completed by Wicked. 104 CS to 95. Definite huge advantage in going all about the tank in that top lane. Meanwhile, if you look at the gold advantage, you can see 4,600 to 3,700 that top lane. Or the 2 bruisers, I guess we could say, now are both the top laners. Big advantage for Wicked. This is the first time we've seen Wicked outlaning Xiaomei. Despite the fact they were against each other, it's the first time we've seen Yellow Pete outlaning Weishao. There is some big advantages for CLG.EU already in this game.
And it's really just going to show their mindset is right, and I don't think WE's is. When CLG.EU took out that 70-minute game on Moscow 5 over in DreamHack, it just turned the tide for them. Their momentum was so huge, and there was just no recovery from Moscow 5. So far, the story has been the same here for WE. They just have not had any recovery. They haven't been able to create anything. They lost level 1. Their early game ganks are gone. Even their early game laning is not working at the same level. You can tell they're not responding well to that huge comeback by CLG.EU, and they really have to get their heads in the game soon. Otherwise, they're going to be out of this tournament.
Yeah, Wicked is going back. The ultimate tank gets a heart of gold. Of course he does. A little bit of GP5 and a bit more hit points. Now with that Orianna ball on top of his head. Trinity Force already completed as well. And you just think all items are ahead. And just look at Froggen in comparison. He's got that Rod of Ages. He's got that needlessly large rod. 166 CS, 166. Dead flat between the 2. But of course Messiah probably got a chunk of gold on him when Sorcerer's Shoes had to go for their mana items.
That's just how Rise works, scaling off mana. And the thing is here, even though they're even in minions, and Messiah has a kill to Froggen's assist, Froggen's up in gold because they've gotten the dragons, they've gotten 3 turrets to 1, and that global advantage is really just starting to kick in. Here, another dragon is up. They're all grouping. They caught Messiah shopping. If they rush it down, they'd be good. They have the oracles. They're clearing it around. They'll either take this dragon and keep their advantage with their patience, or if WE wants to fight, CLG.EU is more than happily going to take it.
CLG.EU, I think they're going to take it before they even get a chance to fight this one. Will be a very clean CLG.EU Dragon. Extend their gold lead, 5,000 gold lead already now, just 18 minutes going into this game. That is a very big lead this early on.
And the thing with CLG is they're patient with these kind of gold leads. They're not going to force anything too scary. Everything they've done so far has been calculated. They're not even having to tower dive yet. They know that they have this game in the bag. They're the ones with the Orianna this time. They're the ones. Malphite's late game attack speed, though, is just going to shut down 3 essentially attack speed based champions in Aurelia, Nocturne, and Corki. WE has to force something really soon because CLG.EU is in complete control, and here they're potentially trying something, but this is only going to end in disaster. Everyone from CLG except YellowPete's there.
Everyone there, and you can see the distance. Unstoppable force on towards Chow Mei, followed by the Crescendo. Does manage to catch across Messiah's the target. I'm not too sure. You can see the defense actually going straight through Crepo, defended by Froggen, and Crepo actually picking up the kill on the back of it, despite the fact CLG.EU now going to push on. There is no tower, there is no defense. CLG could drive this one home if they wanted to. While this is happening, of course, YellowPete is free farming in the mid lane. That was a 4-on-5.
Which shows how big CLG.EU is, and they're catching him down. They got the slow, they're going to keep chasing.
They tried to get a silence across there, splashed just at the right moment there, and CLG.EU really in a dominant position, 4-1 up. And look at this mid turret already taking half health. Which one did they defend? Which one did they go for? It's a 4-man push along the top there. Sorry, a 3-man now because Crepo's just backed off. And they are going to take this bottom turret. The Howling Gale is not going to be enough to stop them. They don't have a great deal of damage. They're going to try and collapse around him. They're going to put the distance down. Clear Love is going to be the target. He's going to be able to back away. The silence went down across Wei Xiao. Clear Love very low still, but it's a double kill. A Froggen just pops his ultimate and says, thank you very much. I'll take that one. I don't mind going down. Take one for the team. And well, Team WE are going to try and have to drive something off this. They have to get Snoopy's Oracle down. He's going to drop surely. Yes, he will. Wicked's also going to get taken down. Team WE need to pull everything out the bag to get back into this one. 6-3. It was an important kill to get the Oracle down, but they were not expecting that double kill from Froggen.
That was a 3v5 when Froggen got that double kill. YellowPete and Crepo were both back to shop already. YellowPete stole the blue buff during all that. They pushed mid. He got a lot of free farm, so even though they lost the Oracles on Snoopy, they're still out ahead in that just because of all the time the other members had taking other objectives on the map. YellowPete now in items and in gold, not quite in minions, ahead of Wei Xiao for the first time in all of these games. 6,200 to 5,700 has the Trinity Force. He's going to be looking very strong, and when they win 3v5s and 4v5s, as soon as they get a 5v5, they're going to mop the floor with WE.
Yeah, and that Orianna ball control from Froggen definitely causing the problem. 100% record for Orianna, 100% record for Sona as well still, I feel. I'm trying to think of the first game. Actually, yeah, no, they've got 100% record. Stat people, you'd be able to get into my ear and tell me on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's how it stands. 6-3 currently, 21.5 minutes into this one, 3-1. And a big advantage. Nearly 200 CS already coming out for the two APs. Definitely with a huge advantage to the slide, definitely with CLG.EU, and they've got to be careful that they don't snowball away WE here. And
on top of this, they have better aura items for team fights, so they're already winning down men, but the Frozen Heart early on Wicked has been so impactful this whole time, and they have an Aegis of Legion already on Crepo. He's got a lot of support gold. You say scumbag Crepo because he got that from stealing too many kills from his AD. He's stolen 2 kills already, but he's turned it into an Aegis, so they're better in team fights because of it.
Yeah, and of course they've already got that Frozen Heart on Wicked, so Wicked's quite happy to use himself as a brick going forward. And honestly, they might be able to put a little bit more damage down onto this turret. You see Wicked in there.
Surprise push up mid, they're going to get this.
They are going to surprise it, and it's going to be Froggen Wicked. There's YellowPete, they will drill down. Meanwhile, you can see Snoopy just off to the side. He's keeping Wei Xiao busy. They could probably carry on pushing this one, because Wei Xiao is very much kept under control. He's going to get the turret off the back of that one. Are they going to be able to collapse up across? You can see they're heading off towards the top turret. CLG are going to collapse onto Wei Xiao here. I don't know how he's going to be able to get out of this one. He's going to have to play very tricky. Snoopy, meanwhile, if we could go back to it, you can see he's in trouble, actually. He's still in trouble of going down. He might well get dropped. No, the ball control just at the right moment, and Clearlove's going to come in. Snoopy is eventually going to drop. Wei Xiao picks up the kill off the back of that one. YellowPete now targeted. That's going to be a crescendo. It's not going to save the day though. Team WE could get themselves back into it off the back of this fight. There's no tower for Crepo to run to. He is going to get dropped by Chow Mei. Can they collapse around the rest of their team? It's 6-6 all square, and now Team WE, are they going to turn this into a Baron? That would be absolutely mental. We're at 23 minutes in.
The Orianna ult and the Malphite ult are still up, so they actually quickly realized that and decided to run back. Still a great turn. I think that all keyed off of Wei Xiao We thought he was going to be in trouble. We thought it was Dennis Snoop, but he actually turned it around, got him so low before that fight started that they were able to take him out, getting the kill early, and then Yellow Pete totally caught out of position. He was trying to collapse, but he got collapsed on, and that was the big reason WE. That's the kind of aggression they need to keep pulling out. They need to make big plays like that because they're still behind, and CLG has such a great late game.
So Chow Mei 4-1-0 with that Trinity Force, but we're seeing a blasting one coming out on Snoopy here. He wants a little bit of damage off the back of that fight.
He's going to go for an Abyssal Scepter, and if they want to channel the Orianna ults coming in, that's just going to help. If anyone's in the middle, there's only a 600 range on that Abyssal Scepter now, so you need to channel it on someone like a tank, like Cho'Gath. It's going to help his feast. Cho'Gath actually has very good AP ratios, but mainly that is just another team fight item they're going for. They're really stacking him on top here. It's going to be good when he completes that for Orianna in team fights.
Rabadon's death cap being picked up by Froggen, of course, as well. On the back of that one, Agents of the Legion now clear love to try and help out with that team. Of course, the Oracles actually went on to FZZF, so Oracles, I'm not sure if that's the first Oracle, but I'm not sure whether I missed an Oracle go down on Team WE. Definitely late on that one. Dragon, of course, is available. CLG now heading down south, trying to pick up that Dragon FZZF, trying to ward it out. And he has managed to get that one ward in there. Wicked will be able to spot it. Wicked with the Oracle on, by the way, because he is really the strongest tank in the game now.
And it's smart. A lot of times you see only an Oracle's dance between the jungler and the support, but this time Wicked picking it up because so much about Oracles is protecting it. And since you said he is the strongest tank in the game, how are they going to kill Wicked? You want to kill an Oracles, take out the tank first and lose the team fight, which could very well happen if they decide to focus Wicked.
So let's see how they're going to choose to engage it. They could flash ultimate from Wicked here. He would go very deep. Not too sure with the ball that followed that far. They're going to try and catch out. They clear out the wards, protective of that turret, and they realize they don't need to force the dragon fight here. They still have the stronger team comp. They have the gold advantage, and they feel that they can just force the fight without that dragon, or if anything, just pick something off. And now that you can see, they're forcing the lane up, and they're just going to head back to dragon.
They're just taking it slow once again. They got that one aggressive thing when they tried to pull around on Weejiao, and it got turned around on them, so they're sticking standard here, just taking the dragon control, taking the advantages that are granted to them, and now WE trying to push down, and this is a bit of a force. They could either disengage, or the Malphite ult can initiate from nearly anywhere. WE backing away almost immediately because they do not want to deal with CLG's team fight right now.
Absolutely. So red buff going to get picked up, looks like to the light. He's going for the golems. There's Yellow Pete working his way down that south. So they clear out that bottom lane that was shoved on them. So, Weejiao has actually regained the lead in terms of CS. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but he has. He's got himself back in it. He's been off on the sides, farming away, just keeping himself in this game. In terms of gold between them, though, you can still see 1,000 gold difference to Yellow Pete. Big, big advantage for him. Top laners, very much even between the two, but that mid lane, it's the big difference. Froggen has a big lead currently over Messiah.
Messiah needed to slow down Froggen, but it just has not been the case. That Orianna pick ban play, so good for them early on. Now with the Orianna, they seem to be in control. Deathcap Rod of Aegis, he went a little different. Most guys did the Athene's Unholy Grail on Orianna, but this time Froggen's picked it up with the Rod of Aegis and has not necessarily seen a fall off. The big items now completed. Abyssal Scepter onto Snoopy. These next team fights are going to be so explosive for CLG if they can get the proper 5-on-5 engagement.
And you can see an Abyssal trying to get built up by Messiah as well. The rest of Team WE, there's a 3-man push along that top lane. Snoopy's just going to cover off this middle. We are seeing Chow Mei. Chow Mei the man with all the kills at the moment. Yellow Pete's got to be careful he doesn't get scissored off here. They're trying to look towards it. Team WE. Yellow Pete has got to be careful. Doesn't get caught out here, as I was about to say. There comes Clear Love diving in on him. Yellow Pete's going to get taken down. He will get dropped. He got picked off. And will Team WE be able to turn something off the back of this one?
These are kind of the spins that we've seen off of these guys. It's been so many picks in the early game. Sorry, there were so many picks that CLG got on WE last time they were ahead, but this time it's just been turned around.
Absolutely. So Team WE taking advantage, pushing in towards that mid turret. They do take down the outer one. They get on towards the inhibitor. There's the Orianna ball. Chow Mei is going to take this turret down, though. You can see he's just taking it from the mid one. That will be an easy pickup. So just off the back of a single pickup, just like we saw with CLG.EU against Team WE, this time CLG get picked off. Yellow Pete caught, like Clear Love was in Game 2, out of position. The question is, though, will it be enough? They did pick up 2 turrets on the back of it. That is a very good turnaround of his singular kill. 7-6 currently, WE with that kill advantage now. clawing the gold back, almost reminiscent of the way CLG just drove their way back into it against Team WE. CLG this time have got to be careful. Ooh, Wicked going to walk in, put that ward down right on top of Clearlove's head. Meanwhile, as it stands though, the big difference, we've still not seen a clear 5v5 team fight.
And with CLG wanting to get these team fights coming in very shortly, we might have a slight audio problem here, I'm not sure. Froggen wants to get those 5v5 team fights.
Yeah, as it is at the moment, it's definitely a problem here. As we see, well, look at just Weezhou back down that bottom lane, farming away. CLG.EU in the meantime, they have that 5-man push in the mid lane. They could drive it forward. Weezhou is going to push on. Weezhou's going to have to react to this one, otherwise CLG.EU are going to be straight on that base turret, and they're well aware of it. Instead, CLG.EU now stood on top of that ward. They're not going to be too sneaky. They're going to drive in. They've got to be careful not to be too many steps away from that turret, because Wicked will be able to engage at such a large range. We'll see whether he'll be able to get in there. Froggen just pulling that defense, pulling the ball back, keeping that gold range going. 204 CS now currently for Xiaomei. Big advantage compared to Wicked, 162, but Wicked is just that blunt instrument they are throwing into the fight. And it's going to continue as it is not currently available. Weezhou is getting poked down. You can see the ball control from Froggen still continuing.
Thanks there, team, and I'm back. Good solo casting there. They have a 5-man poke coming down here. So much control out of this, and they're just trying to clear out with the oracles what they really want. Then they'll be able to push in for a team fight.
So as it stands at the moment, CLG definitely with that advantage. 7-6, 30 minutes gone in this game. 4-4 all square in turrets, just 4,000 gold separating them. CLG want to force that team fight. This is so reminiscent of the last game. This time, CLG want to force the team fight, and Team WE are quite happy to sit back and farm.
From the other way from the last game, their tables have been turned. CLG.EU, though, knows how to be in this position, and they know how to take it back.
So as it is, CLG currently pushing towards the top. You can see the wards are getting just picked off left, right, and center here. Wicked's just farming up. And they are going to push in this top tier. Top tier is not got enough hit points. I don't think Team WE want to fight this one. They're going to have to let this one give up. There's going to be a huge creep wave going in there. They've got to be so careful that we don't see that flash ultimate. Malphite is just off at the side there. Yeah, you can see he wanted to get in there, but they could tank this one. They could take the damage, but you can see Xiaomei now with that Guardian Angels. He's going to throw himself in this fight. He wants to really get involved in it. Yellow Pete taking a little bit unnecessary damage there. The Janna Shield stopping any damage going towards that turret.
The next big team fight is going to show us so much about these team strengths. Because the Frozen Heart on Wicked, they have all the team fights. They've been getting picked thus far. They can't let this get turned around on them like what WorldElite could no longer finish last game. Will they try to get a Baron? They can't seem to get these turrets because in here, they're clearing out wards. The jungle is very much so. They're getting the red buff going down. Wicked still with that oracles from earlier. This is so scary for CLG because they're in the same situation that they just turned around last game and they can't let it happen to them.
They cannot, but currently, I don't think there's too much they can do about it. Dragon is up. They are going to back off from this one. Xiaomei is very strong, but we've seen this before. One player being the strongest on the team is not always a great thing. And Weezhou desperately farming away, trying to get himself back involved in this one. We saw it before, how strong he became, how much of an influencer he is. We saw how much CLG tried to focus on him, but you can see Yellow Pete now with that Bloodthirster and the Trinity Force very much just ahead in that build. Still no BF. Is he going to go for an Infinity Edge, or is that a Last Whisper? Looks like Weezhou's going to go for Last Whisper, I guess.
Weezhou actually managing to just stay in the game, and he's pulled back. If he gets that Infinity Edge, then he'd be ahead of Yellow Pete in damage. Randwin's Omen, double Randwin's Omen coming out from CLG. If they get in team fights, and it's so much about the attack speed from Aurelia and Nocturne here, CLG just has to get team fights, and it's a struggle for them to initiate, which is odd considering Wicked's unstoppable force. It's really just about them not wanting to overcommit because this is how they play normally. But WE sneaking back into it. Normally when they stall off like this, they're growing an advantage. Right now when they're stalling off, the advantage is shrinking.
I'm wondering whether Weezhou's going to try and pop that ultimate, try and hit the steal on the Dragon. Instead, he's not. He's going to back off, and wisely so, because they could have easily initiated on him once that AD carry is down. Is it the target? Look at Xiaomei just putting himself out there. He wants to be the problem. He wants to be the target. They are a little bit split off here. And Instead, they are going to back away from this one. CLG not choosing to engage that ball on CLG's Wicked's head, immediately thinking of that ultimate combo that they could possibly use. There is so much control there. The Malphite Unstoppable Force, the pull from Froggen, followed by the crescendo, would really keep a team stopped in its tracks for around about 3 or 4 seconds.
And it's a little surprising that they're reluctant to force a Baron thing, because the Baron would not necessarily do much damage to them. The bait would be able to get turned around, and there's not a huge amount of area of effect damage coming out from anyone on WorldElite, so these team fights, if they wanted to force a beta Baron, would probably come out on top of CLG.EU, but they're waiting for WE to commit something, and Wicked walking up in ult range, but he's just not pulling the trigger. And this is a matter of CLG just waiting for the right moment. When this fight does kick off, it'll have to be explosive. They're waiting until they can catch multiple members in the same ult, and they're just really, really patient right now.
I wonder how much of his patience is going to go through Wicked's mind when he went a little bit too deep when the team were not ready and they got caught out, because they realized if they lose this fight, they're definitely going to lose an inhibitor or a Baron off the back of it. So they need to make sure that Unstoppable Force lands at just the right moment. And Team WE, they're keeping very split. They're very much aware of the situation. That big creep wave down the bottom is going to get taken out by Yellow Pete's ultimate there. He's going to force them back. Xiaomei, in the meantime, stealing away the red. That is sneaky. Sneaky play there from Wei Xiao. Getting in and around that side.
It's going to be very good for them coming up, because the added Trinity Force slow on top of the red buff is strong, and they're denying Yellow Pete that. He's going in for it himself, but it's long gone. And they are really staying alive in here. We thought maybe they were going to be a bit on tilt from the last game, but they've really picked it up in the past 15 minutes or so. Just not giving up on this game. They're stalling very well. They're really, like when they won in Game 1, turning CLG.EU's playstyle around on them. Bruiser recomps, good stall, avoiding initiates, and it's really just learning from CLG.EU and adapting so well, because this stall is getting more and more dangerous for CLG.
Did they just see Xiaomei go back? That's the question. CLG.EU seem to have stacked in around that Baron. They realized Xiaomei may have gone away from this one. 2 of the members, FCZF and Xiaomei, both gone. CLG have a prime time to try and force it, and they didn't. They didn't have the vision. As it is at the moment, Wei Xiao, though, continuing to farm. While this is all happening, he's just farming. He's a farming machine. Everywhere he goes, he's picking up kills. He's quite happy. He's got to be careful he doesn't show himself in this bottom lane, although CLG have all backed up so that they can't take advantage from it now.
So here we go. We have the ultimate coming down the bottom lane, just trying to clear the minions, but he's not quite able to get that.
You can see as it stands, Wicked just continuing on his farming merry way. But look how tanky they are right now. Like I say, they're double Randy and Omen. He's got the Frozen Heart. He's just going to throw himself in as a big mallet to start things off. And on the back of that, Snoopy is also very tanky. Froggen's going to have a lot of control. Yellow Pete is so mobile, so slippery, it's going to be hard to pin down. Who will they focus when it comes to the team fight? They know they're going to have CLG throwing this big brick wall of crowd control at them. And it's going to be down to Wei Xiao to try and sidestep that and get the damage down, but who will he target?
And they have to just be really careful here, because if he knew who to target, he would have used his ultimate long ago. They don't know exactly who they want to pick off. And with all of this lateness, Orianna wins team fights usually immediately with the burst, but the later they get, the more bruisey WE gets. You can see multiple giant spells coming out. The burst from Froggen is going to fall off early. They have the Guardian Angel on Yellow Pete, but as far as the Orianna initiation perspective, that ult is not going to be as devastating as we've seen in the past. If they live through that and counter-initiate onto him, Orianna doesn't have too much left after that, so it's going to be a struggle. They might be realizing the urgency of the situation here, because they're really all 5 around Baron here, trying to poke off, and there's been so much poking and prodding, and they just have not been able to pull a lead here. WE really getting tanky. CLG.EU needs to actually force something much sooner rather than later, even if it's counterintuitive to their initial playstyle.
Yes, it is. You can see clearly putting the ward straight down in Wicked's face there. Very much aware of the situation. And it is going to be very much back and forth. We see this often. You know, the patience of the situation, the pressure of the situation they must be in right now.
And there is so much pressure. Even just this game, $75,000 directly, the chance at $1 million if you lose, lost. 1-1 final game, and here we could see the final fight.
Here we go, and the Clearlove's gone very deep. I'm not sure. He's trying to bait out the ultimates, and CLG did not go for it. So the Nocturne ultimate now down. They're going to try and force Xiaomei's Guardian Angels to get dropped there. Yellow Pete very safe. and that was a Nocturne ultimate burn. They're going to be aware of the fact, are they going to try and push this situation now? Are they going to try and drive something up that mid lane?
The Nocturnal burn for Snoopy's flash. Now they're trying to push right back on. They know that is such a big part of a team fighting strategy is having that Nocturne ultimate. They're now taking the aggression. I'm surprised they're not prodding around Baron, because without that Nocturne ult, the vision would be very good for them. They pushed in and taken rates, but that really doesn't give them anything. They have to capitalize on this moment. What are they going to do here? Because now maybe they force a fight on top, but once again, Wick is just backing away. CLG.EU is not taking advantage of the situation yet. They really have to.
Look at the creep wave though they've got going in that top lane. They should be able to push down this turret eventually. Wicked is certainly sizing them up, whether he can get in there, and that shield is only going to be so much. So finally, that's the first turret we've had in about 15 minutes, I believe, and it is a 5-4 advantage for CLG.EU, living up to their name, grinding it out right now. They are definitely making the slow play work out for them, but this is their game. They are in their zone now. 39 minutes gone. This is where CLG come into their prime. The question is, will WE be able to match them when they finally get to that team fight?
CLG.EU is in their moment, but at the same time, it seems like WE has adapted. They are doing a very good job pulling it off here. Weezhao soloing the Dragon. CLG.EU actually doesn't realize it. They keep jumping back forward in the jungle, but what is necessarily the point of this? They're waiting for W to do a poor initiation, but they've shown that they will not. Where is the initial fight going to come from? The Nocturne ult is not enough. Rise is not enough. It has to be a full team initiation. Malphite can create, Orianna can create, Cho'Gath can create, but CLG.EU is choosing not to. And they keep putting these pings down on Baron, but nothing is coming of it.
Very much a back and forth. Like they're trying to gank. Look, they are completely out of vision here. And is anyone going to fall for it? Are they going to try and put a ward there? Are we going to see FZZF try and get down here? Try and force a ward. Looking like... Oh, Nocturne's coming down. If we can just get a pan. Oh, Clearlove's not falling for that one.
If they wouldn't have moved after that hit, they wouldn't have realized the Dust Trail combo, but they did flinch when it happened, so he knows that in that brush he did spot CLG.EU, and it allows them to back away.
I feel that a Shirelli is going to have to get used here. We can see a second Shirelli is now being built by Snoopy as well. I expect the Shirelli stacking will start soon, and CLG.EU are going to have to use that for their advantage to try and close the gap. They just caught Weezhao off. Weezhao was on the bottom lane. They're going to go for it. They're going to try and pull it for Baron here. Nocturne, of course, has got his ultimate back available, so he's going to be able to get in and try and smite it down.
They don't want to get into a steal race here. I've seen them. They have the Eaton smite, but they still don't want to risk it. They pull off into ward. Froggen was on that ward the entire time, which let them know they were trying to peel. If Froggen was inside the Baron pit, they would have thought they were doing it. But the fact that Froggen was sitting back there let WE know they weren't in it to take the entire Baron.
Cleared up quickly to respond. Weezhao immediately reacted, and CLG.EU back to resetting. They got that wave at the bottom though that Chow Mei, look, he's going to have to deal with it. So he's going to get spotted off the side. Popping the ultimate up towards the top. Too sure what he was aiming at with that one.
Might have just been looking for vision in a lot of ways. He was trying to scout out
because it
does grant vision. They didn't actually have wards themselves on Baron, so that could have been a potential rush. We know WE had tried for a Baron in the previous game multiple times with 2 or 3 members. That's what they were worried about, and he managed to scout them out. They weren't doing it. He's just down on ultimate.
Look at this. Froggen shows himself there, and immediately Team WE reacting. They've got a 4-man pushing straight down the mid, 5-man now. They're going to try and get this inner turret down pretty quick. They're going to tank it up. It's going to be Chow Mei taking the turret hits, and they're going to be able to get in there in time. But Snoopy is there. Manages to capture Rupstrog towards Messiah there. Messiah now with the Guardian Angels of his own. So we've got 2 Guardian Angels on Team WE. We've got just the 1 currently on CLG. Weezhao again getting in, sneaking on towards that red and taking it away from CLG. He gets in there every time.
And it's getting stronger and stronger now. 353 minion kills, Triforce, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, as well as that Negatron cloak. He did not go for the tank build this time, and it is paying off in a lot of ways. CLG.EU scared of team fighting them, it seems, because Malphite initiates could happen. He just does not want to extend himself too far out from the rest of the team. And now the damage is high enough, especially from Rise. Malphite is so good at dealing with damage from anyone except sustained damage casters. Messiah, if Wicked comes in, Messiah's going to train wreck him. He doesn't have magic resist outside of those Mercury treads, and they're just clearing out wards inside of this Baron pit, but they're not looking to commit. This game stretching on and on, 43 minutes now. Blue buff coming down onto Froggen. CLG.EU, we keep saying it, they are in their element, but this lead is shrinking ever so slowly. It was around 6,000 or 7,000, now it's down to 4. WE stalling CLG style in a lot of ways.
Yeah, WE reminiscent of, like I say, last game. The question is, have they got the damage when they come to a team fight to break through that tankiness that CLG.EU have got? If LP can just stay up to the side, but with the Guardian Angels starting to stack up across the board, the damage definitely stacking up across the board. They need to catch someone out, but the problem is CLG are moving as one big unit. One big tanky unit at that. You're seeing Wicked on your screen. Built very tanky early on. Looks like he's going to go for a Frozen Mallet now as well, just to add that extra hit points towards it. Unless he goes towards Trinity Force, it's entirely possible, but I wouldn't be surprised. Again, Messiah getting poked down by Froggen, but they just can't catch anyone off. Clear Love this time. You know, he got caught out a few times last time. He's not pulling for it again.
And we're on pace for a potentially even later game than last time, just with how much these teams are afraid of fighting each other. So many wards being expended back and forth. Wicked making a lot of gold off of that Oracles, and just look at the wards on CLG right now. They want to find a moment when WE is pickable. They're trying to litter the outside with wards, and there is one strategy. They wanted to get him over the wall, but they're just not allowing it. Continually clearing out wards from inside here. Still not fighting. Meanwhile, Weezhou in the middle lane is just farming up and up and up, and if they cannot close down on Corki, they're going to have issues in these late game teamfights because he scales like a monster.
And as it stands, the farm session goes on. This is what I expect from CLG. Yellow Pete, oh, nearly catching Messiah out. Doesn't want to go for the ultimate. We've not seen an ultimate used outside of the True Shot Barrage for a long, long time. CLG going to try and force the issue? No, because there's two wards at the back of Baron Pit.
They actually are doing a lot of damage to Baron here, but the collapse is coming down from WE almost immediately, and they back right away once again.
And collectively the crowd sighs as everybody backs away. It is going to be an epic fight when we get there, ladies and gentlemen, trust me. But it might take a while. CLG.EU, they are renowned for this. They are world renowned for this. Every team that's come up against them, you know, there's a big reason that there's only a couple of teams in the world that have beaten CLG.EU in a best of 3, in a best of 5. Honestly, they really have the late game sussed.
The strangest thing about this, though, is keep thinking that this is not what they necessarily wanted. Why would you bring such a hard initiate team if you're not going to end up forcing that hard initiate as WE gets tankier and tankier is going to be less and less effective? They really had the window, I want to think, about 20 minutes ago, and it's been so long since the last team fight, they've almost forgotten who's going to win, and it's so hard to judge. With these players' experiences, obviously CLG.EU thinks that they would have it late game anyway, because they have had the skills and the champions to initiate. They have just chosen not to. WE just waiting because they know how well CLG counter-initiates on them. That's what's happened to them in the past few games. They're not willing to engage in that same fight anymore. They're waiting for CLG.EU to actually commit on Baron, and then they'd fight. But as it is, this game just keeps going and going.
Going and going, and a lot of wards being bought by both teams. There's a Warmogs popping out by Aurelia. Also, Last Whisper was just picked up by Yellow Pete, that's why he went back. Double Shirelia's Reverie for CLG, so they have the speed to close down someone if they require. No Shirelia's Reverie still picked up by Team WE.
And it's just a little odd. It shows to me that they don't want to fight in a lot of ways. You sometimes just Reverie to get the initiation. Snooping finally landing a Rupture, but they don't follow up because no one was necessarily around. And ad infinity, they just keep the same game going. How many times have wards been placed in these spots, and how many times has the Oracles been cleared away? So many Ruptures, so much poke back and forth. The minion kills continue to climb. 416 onto Froggen. That's more than he's had yet this tournament, even though it took him quite a much longer than it did in the group stage. Now they're maybe pushing down mid, but it doesn't look like they're going to do much too aggressive.
Yeah, they're just going to push them back, turn around, and head back north. There is no ward coverage currently at Baron. Just that one in the back pit, which they're going to clear out. Okay, are they going to initiate? Are they going to start the Baron? The crowd want them to start on Baron. Have they got it in them to force the team fight?
Weezhou's back in base.
The Baron is down to half hit points, and Weezhou is a long way away. They're going to try and catch on towards Zhao Mei. No, they backed away. They were in a 4v5 situation. They probably could have picked the Baron up. The Baron has not to reset yet. Now it's reset. And we're back to normal.
If only they knew Weezhou had back there, they could have finished the Baron or waited for the full commit from WE to win a team fight. But that's the cautiousness of CLG.EU. They want to make completely certain they have it. And that's the cautiousness of WorldElite. They're keeping back.
CLG.EU are all about breaking records. They've already made the longest game so far at 55 minutes. I think they want to stretch that goal. I think they're aiming for 60 right now. Team WE having a little look there. We can see that Messiah is off in the bottom lane here. CLG have spotted that. Messiah and Clearlove are a long way from this fight. CLG.EU should be able to start this one off. They should pick it up. They're taking it down to half health already. Clearlove is now getting close. He's going to be able to ultimate his way in there. There goes the rupture. The Silence is still not going to cross. They're not actually doing the damage to the Baron. They're just trying to bait the fight. They're just trying to bait the fight. They could have taken Baron, and all they're doing is baiting it. They have still not let it reset, though.
They have Beast and Smite. They would be able to spike it down, but instead they're waiting for a fight here, and again, they disengage.
Wow. The crowd cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Everybody at home watching is actually fell asleep right now. Europe has just dropped off. They have fell off asleep. Sorry, guys. I apologize from the whole European nation that you are being drawn out, but CLG.EU once again engaging. They managed to take a couple more hit points. The Vuvuzelas go off, and instead, can they keep this up? They've taken Baron to half health this time. Wicked is ready for a hard engage now, and they are continuing the damage on Baron. They've taken half health off. Their Clearlove gets vision of it.
WE ran out of wards.
They're going to go for it. They backed off, and they picked up the Baron at last. The crowd goes wild. It's taken them a half hour to get that Baron. Now, what the hell are they going to do with it?
The thing with that is WE ran out of wards. They stopped being able to get vision inside of it. So much turtling, so many Oracle Scares, and they finally expended it all. So we were waiting for the stall, but after all of it, they got the Baron, and now they're all shoving up mid. Will we see a big fight?
Well, all Team WE are going to have to back off here. Well, Xiaomei's running. He needs to be backing right now. Messiah's going back. They're going to get on towards this inhibitor turret before anyone of substantial damage can get here. I thought they were about to back off. Oh my god, I was about to lose my my rag. I think this is about as PC as I can make it right there. But CLG, well, they can tank up this turret if they want to. The rest of Team WE have got back. There's the Janna shield, and the poke continues. Right, they have a Baron. They have to make use of this one. Xiaomei's off the side there. He's not going to get involved in it. Here comes the creep wave. Can they push in? They got a good shred on towards FCZ there. But it wasn't enough. They're going to get the poke on towards that turret. I'd like to see the turret hit points if you please, Mr. Cameraman. I want to see what is going on with that turret. Not looking at CLG. I want to see how far they're shredding it down. They've barely managed to hit it. They've took it around just above half. And you can see there's a big creep wave on that bottom turret. Are they going to rotate around to the bottom turret? The ping goes down and CLG going to continue to pressure it. Xiaomei's there. The rupture goes down. They are tanking it up. Wicked could effectively just stand there in that turret. He's got a frozen heart, a Randian zone, and that tower's not going to do a great deal to him in the first few hits. And that's why he's going to deal with it. Wei Xiao has to find off the torrent. There is the bottom lane turret going down. The inhibitor turret just has one more hit remaining on it. CLG.EU have full use. Remember, they've still got all their ultimates available. Nothing has been expended here. Look at that. Yellow Pete hit the damn tower, for God's sake, man. Wicked's tanking it up for you. All they need to do is hit it. Finally, they hit it. Now they can go aggressive. The inhibitor is exposed. They're going to try and go for this one. Messiah gets caught out again. There is an enormous creep wave going on that bottom lane that CLG might rotate round to. They've got this open inhibitor. Chat, will they ever finish this damn game?
They want the inhibitor, but they are taking their sweet time with this. So cautious. They don't want to get caught out by anything despite having the Baron buff, and W does not want to overengage. They will get this inhibitor or get a team fight, but if we've learned anything from this game, it's going to be a slow inhib, and there it is.
Wei Xiao's showing himself down that bottom lane as well. He's going to be on the massive stack down the bottom. You can see Froggen coming across. He has that ball, and he's going to try and push them home. So that is one inhibitor down. If they can poke and continue on this one, they've got the Baron for another minute and a half, so 90 seconds remaining on this Baron buff. They have it in them. They can tank it up. They're going to just force them back. Team WE can't really do anything about this. Are they going to engage? They just have to keep stepping back.
They got about half it, and this is how they siege the middle turn. If they can do it once, they can do it again. As long as they have this Baron buff, they should be able to slowly poke this one down. But instead, they actually look to be backing away. No. Their Baron is slow. They have the one inhib, D-Man. They should be able to get the blue buff. They're going to shop after this. They did just pick up some gold. And you're just crushing your face with your hands right now. But soon enough, we will see them push in.
Well, whoop-dee-doo. CLG back off. They do pick up the blue. I think they may follow this creep wave in. That Baron buff, though, is, what, 10 seconds? Oh, look. They're going to go shop, ladies and gentlemen. CLG.EU What are you guys going to buy? Give them a round of applause there. CLG finally, after a half-hour stalemate, did manage to pick up that Baron and start this game rolling.
And everyone after the end of that, they were standing off for so long. Everyone on CLG had over 2,000 gold. Really, they starved WE in wards. WE's not going to let that happen again. FCZF has his 5, but he has spent so much gold on wards. Look at his items. Only the 2 G10 items, has yet to upgrade his boots. He doesn't have any gold left. That's how many wards CLG has cleared out with oracles. Completely starved through the 10,000. He's never going to be able to build his items. The Baron buff now out. Yellow Peak down to Froggen, and it's just going to be the creep waves getting pushed. Their items are big. Do they now have the confidence to win a team fight, or are they just going to slowly try and starve WE out? Because I was thinking earlier that they were taking it a bit too slow, but they know what they're doing, it seems. They've gotten the Baron, they've got the inhibitor, and they do seem to be in control, as slow as it may be.
Well, they have both blue buffs. They have Guardian Angels across the board now. With Oriana also, Froggen stacking that one in there. We have the tankiest of tanks, Wicked. We have, he's got Iron Locket of Solari in there now just to get that shield going as well. You never know when you need it. Snoopay, of course, has been huge for a long time. That's 6 stacks. He's got a Thorn Mail on him now. So Wei Zhao is not going to be targeting him. And they could just walk into this turret. And honestly, they could probably stand tanking it for about 10 minutes and still not go down. But Team WE, there's a ward there, Wicked. You can see it. We know you can see it. In fact, they've got 2 oracles now. Wicked and Crepo. They do get the ward. People are cheering ward kills now. It's starting to stretch out that much.
Anything that happens, man, because this game has been so much poking over and over. I think CLG is actually waiting for the next Baron. Another ward kill. The crowd goes wild, and now they're in to hit the tower, getting a bit of damage down.
Look how quick they are to react to separate on that, though. The Rupture going in there. They just want to try and catch someone out here. Of course, Super Minions still going up the mid lane now, so they're having to deal with this one. There is a big double creep wave going in towards that bottom turret as well. Remember, the bottom turret had damage done to it already. We'd like to see how much that's got left on it. I don't think it's going to be too much, though. I'll have a quick look myself, actually.
It's about half health at the moment, so that is more damage than the top. They're just seemingly getting them both a bit low. Honestly, I think they're going to wait for the next Baron. Another ward kill, fantastically done there. The crowd goes wild, and they are just poking this tower ever so slowly.
Ever so slowly, but the bottom turret is down to half health already here, so the bottom turret's getting poked itself. So that one is slowly but surely getting poked down. This top one now down to half health. There's Super Minions on the Nexus turret as well at the moment. So Team WE, they're going to have to react to this one sooner or later. You can see the Nexus turret starting to take damage. Wei Zhao's actually backed away. He's got 2 Super Minions coming. The Nexus turret's on half health already. The 2 Super Minions are going to take that Nexus turret down. If they do not react to this one, they're still getting beaten down. That Nexus turret is getting very low. Finally, they're going to have to react to it. They get a spawn wave. And again, Team WE are kind of mixed. What do we do about this? How do we deal with it? Wei Zhao's had to come across and stop that spawn point, and that's giving CLG time to start poking on that turret as another ward goes down.
Yellow Peak getting rich off of wards, and if we learn anything from the first game here, it's that WE does not handle these late stall games as well as CLG.EU. They haven't known how to react.
Bot lane's going to go down. Bot lane
turret
turret
might go down.
Bot lane turret has got Super Minions on it. It's already gone. And you can see CLG, their stall is just,
they're just
slowly but surely taking that turret out. And there's just nothing that Team WE can do about this. And they're going to lose out this team fight surely when it eventually happens.
If it ever happens, because if they kill as the wards go down, if they manage to kill all 3 inhibitors, they'll eventually win the game without ever having a team fight,
Lord,
which may be their plan. And the Baron's up. Hold on, how much gold does FCZF have? He's got 560. How many wards can he buy with that? They might be able to rush this Baron down, actually. W not charging. They're stuck in their base. They could just rush this down.
They cannot do a thing about it. The Super Minions have kept them pinned. They've got minions all over the place. So CLG going to pick up this Baron for free, and they're going to continue their pushing dominance as the crowd goes wild as a free Baron gets picked up. 57 minutes 30. CLG going for the record in this one.
The record, 13 kills overall, 57 minutes, kills per minute, definitely setting records for this tournament, especially the mid inhibitor is respawned, but they now have the Baron. Max items pretty much there, you can see. Filling up his inventory of wards is Crepo. They probably want to take down that inhibitor next before going for the top towers because the side lanes will be pushed. They're going to make sure they get that under control. They all have big amounts of items. They're picking up their buffs right now. Hate to say it, I think they're going to take it slow.
In contrast, Taipei Assassins versus Moscow 5, I feel, will not quite be at the same pace as this game. That one will be quite frenetic. I can only apologize if anyone's dragged their parents down today to come and watch this one. It's definitely a slower game than we normally used to, but CLG.EU, they are the kings of grind, and they are making it work for them. They came back from a 1-0 down, they are 1-1, and they're going to pick a dragon up, because, you know, at 59 minutes, why not?
You need that. Clearly, the small gold advantage, and look at this. Everything. These fans are rambunctious. They have so much energy, and it's just seeping out of them at every moment here.
It's been bottled up for some time, I think you'll find, chat. They are just finally let loose. So, the mid lane, you can see the inhibitor is back up. CLG, finally, with the Baron, are going to push for this one. There's another ward going down. Again and again.
Oh, and here they come!
Oh, Messiah's going to get caught, got flashed out. That's going to be the Crescendo going to come. Chaume's going to go in there. FCZF having to use some of his ward to try and back them away. Clearlove is going to dive in. They are going to go for this fight. Clearlove getting